It's your local high school dropout. It's day number 3 with me being a gardener. The last couple days we did a lot of the heavy lifting, got a lot of this mulched up. As you can see, the weather in Utah and any high mountain region is kind of unpredictable. It's nice and sunny yesterday. Today we had all kinds of rain and it's cold and had to change the attire. But today I think really all we're going to do is just use those methods that I've shown you before in a couple of those videos, just the hand methods, and just kind of break apart a lot of this stuff. I don't want to disturb it too much because that's what's going to help it decompose a little quicker, is if we don't disturb it too much, just kind of let it sit for a bit. But just going to use the hands to break it up. I have a clipper for some of the thicker wood stuff here, and some snips right here for some stuff that's going to be a little easier. I'll have some more delicate snips if we need to. Probably won't use those too much, but just going to go through there. I will show you some of the methodology for it and bring that up to the camera here in just one moment. If it's leaves and such, I just use these more delicate snips. I'm literally just doing this. Very kind of time consuming and meticulous, but that's with the snips. If you want to just break them apart, you can just break them apart like this. Same sort of method. And, a lot of people might be like, well, what's even the purpose of this? And the whole idea is we're trying to get all this matter to lay as flat as possible. For two reasons. It helps kind of lock in any water content, and it also helps from having it dried out, right? So if you think of like a piece of paper or cardboard laying flat, it's not going to be able to have as much wind going underneath it than if it's kind of propped up where wind can get under it. The same thing with all this organic matter. If there's too much area where it's not really laying flat and compact, then wind's going to get under there and dry it out a lot quicker. In an ideal world, we could literally grind this all down to grain of sand type sizes in the organic matter, and it would decompose that much quicker, break down that much quicker. If you think about it, if you think of all these tiny microbials that are helping break down and decompose this all, they're a lot smaller than these pieces I'm cutting off right here. So if you think if there was potentially like a loaf of bread 100 times bigger than a human, it's going to be really hard to eat the inside of that bread. But if you can slice it and cut it all up and get a bunch more humans going, you could theoretically eat that big loaf of bread that's the size of a house or so. But anyway, so just going to kind of do this sort of stuff, and I'll rake it all in, of course, at the very end so you can see, and just trying to get it all as small as possible. That's these smaller snips. You can do it with your hands, or you can do it with the snips. If you have something this size, you can try. Sometimes it breaks, but that can be pretty time consuming. But if you don't have tools and you're just trying to get a collection of organic matter to help and start the decomposition process, that's something you can do, and kind of have a way to put it somewhere. And since we're going to be working on this garden for about an hour a day, we can take the time to just have fun and break it apart. For me, it's fun. Other people may not think this is as fun. But anyway, so those are just kind of some methods. I'm, of course, going to use snips and shears. That was the other thing. Is if you have shears, it just makes it so much quicker to get all that. Of course, I'm just snipping it right into the bed, so you can see there's all the stuff in the bed that I'll eventually rake up and put it into this. It's nice and wet. You can see all the water lying right through there. And that's all the rainwater. Rain is a little higher in acid, so it's a little more acidic, where in the state of Utah, most of our soil is alkaline. So rain comes and and the worms start moving, we'll probably get a lot of worms trying to come up under this wood right here and get into our big compost berm right here. And that's another great purpose, to have the place where you're gardening near to some more wild soil or soil, because think of all the living microbes all in there that are going to be able to help us decompose and get into our compost right there. I'm going to wrap up a little early on this video since most of the berm is finished. For the next 30 minutes, I am just chopping up the dry loose sticks and leaves on top of the compost berm. The technique here is to not disturb the compost berm. We want the berm to age, so to speak, until we are ready to sift it right before Mother's Day. Now I'm just going to sweep up the loose organic matter into the berm and call it a day. I'm your local high school dropout. Special thanks to Reframe Events for supplying us with the organic matter and sponsoring this demonstration garden, and Earth Community Garden and Food Pantry for sponsoring the content of this Garden Anywhere by Anyone video series, and the Utah Hidden Garden Tour. Tickets for their 2024 garden tour are on sale now at www.hiddengarden.org.